He was supposed to be safe. Instead, this was the last time anyone could say where he was. It started like any other day. Morning arrived quietly at Table Bay. Cold air moved across the water in slow, steady breaths. The ocean looked calm from a distance, almost gentle. Fishermen worked early, pulling nets with practiced hands. Joggers passed with their eyes forward, focused on distance rather than details. A small family stood near the rocks, close enough to hear the water, far enough to believe nothing could go wrong. Shoes were placed neatly on the sand. Jackets were folded and set on a backpack. Someone pointed toward the horizon and talked about how clear the day felt. Someone else nodded, already half distracted by routine thoughts. He followed shadows on the sand. He watched waves hit the rocks then pull away like they were breathing. He asked questions that adults half answered without thinking. He laughed once when the wind tugged at his hood and surprised him. It felt ordinary. That was the danger. No one believed this would be the last normal moment. There was one moment that felt wrong. Not dramatic, not loud, just felt ordinary and normal. The kind of moment people only recognize later, when memory sharpens it into something heavy. The adults turned toward each other. A sentence began. A thought finished. A few steps away, nothing more. The child drifted closer to the waterline. Not running. Not afraid. Curious. Drawn by motion. Drawn by sound. Someone later said they heard a shout. Someone else said it was only the wind. Another person thought they heard a name, stretched thin and carried away too fast to catch. When they turned back, he was not where he should have been. Then everything stopped. There was no scream anyone could agree on. No clear splash. No single second everyone could point to. One moment he was there. The next moment, he was not. They searched the rocks first. Close places. Obvious places. They called his name again and again until voices cracked. Shoes filled with sand as they ran. Jackets slipped from hands. Someone slipped and caught themselves hard enough to feel pain later. They looked behind boulders. They looked between shadows. They looked at the water like it might suddenly answer back. It did not. After that, there was nothing. Family members spread out along the shore without direction. Phones came out with shaking hands. Numbers were dialed, dropped, dialed again. Voices failed halfway through sentences. Strangers joined in without being asked, scanning the water, scanning the rocks, scanning faces. Someone called emergency services. Someone ran toward the harbor. Someone stood frozen, staring at the bay like it might speak if stared at long enough. The response came, but not fast enough for the people watching the tide move in. Rescue teams arrived with calm faces and measured steps. Boats cut slow lines across the surface. Divers went down into dark water, then came back up shaking their heads. Radios crackled with words that meant nothing to the family waiting. Time kept moving. The child did not. As daylight faded, hope shifted into something sharper. Searchlights moved across the water. The ocean reflected them back without mercy. The family waited wrapped in borrowed jackets. No one sat down. Sitting felt like surrender. Each time a boat returned, bodies leaned forward. Each time it left again, something broke quietly. At some point, someone brought water. No one drank it. When the search paused, it felt like a second disappearance. There was no clear witness. No confirmed splash. No clothing caught on rocks. No footprints leading away. No sign that pointed anywhere. The tide that day was not extreme. The weather was not violent. The area was familiar to families who came every week. The danger was supposed to be known. The hardest part was the absence of proof. Nothing to hold. Nothing to point at. Nothing to close the question. Each explanation collapsed under its own weight. If he fell, someone should have heard it. If he wandered, Someone should have seen him. If he was taken, something should have been left behind. There was not. Days passed. The shoreline was searched again. Then again. Helicopters traced the coast. Volunteers arrived with hope written plainly on their faces. Posters went up with a photograph taken on a better day. People stopped to read, then walked away quietly. The water gave nothing back. Each morning began with expectation. Each night ended with silence. They did not just lose a child. They lost sleep. They lost routine. They lost the ability to hear waves without counting seconds between them. They lost the comfort of ordinary sounds. The house changed. Rooms stayed quiet. Toys remained where they were last touched. Shoes stayed by the door because moving them felt wrong. Meals were cooked out of habit, then forgotten. Every noise sounded like a return, until it was not. They replayed the day endlessly. The angle of the sun. The placement of the jackets. The exact words spoken before attention drifted. The number of steps between safety and the water. Memory became a trap. Each version ended the same way. A blank space where answers should have been. People tried to help. Some offered theories. Some offered prayers. Some offered certainty without evidence. Each attempt landed differently, but all of them hurt. The family learned which conversations to leave, which words to avoid, which silences were safer. Hope became dangerous. It rose without warning, then collapsed just as fast. They returned to Table Bay more than once. Not to search, to understand. They stood in the same place. They counted the same steps. They listened to the same wind. They watched the same waves hit the same rocks. Nothing changed. Each visit ended the same way. Silence. Water. No answers. Months turned into years. The days stayed close. Birthdays arrived, then left quietly. Holidays lost their shape. Time moved forward without permission. People stopped asking questions. The posters faded. The shoreline kept filling with new families who laughed without knowing why the sound hurt. The grief became a quiet companion. It did not leave. It followed them through rooms, into dreams, into the wind. Even simple sounds became dangerous. A child's laughter. A seagull's cry. The distant clang of a boat bell. Everything that once meant nothing now carried weight. Each sound reminded them of absence. The wind across the water, once gentle, now whispered questions with no answers. They imagined the child returning. Every shadow became a possibility. Every ripple on the water held hope. They waited for a shape emerging from the fog, for a hand reaching across the rocks, for a small voice calling a name. But the tide did not give him back. To this day, there is no clear answer. No proof. No confession. No closure. Only the memory of ordinary things, shattered by a single absence. Only the sound of waves, moving with patience. Only the moment everything changed. The bay still looks peaceful. Fishermen still work early. Joggers still pass without looking twice. The ocean still moves with patience. Children still laugh near the shore. One family never hears that sound the same way again.